Welcome back. Today's project, we're working on this 1995 Honda Civic. My cluster gauge isn't working properly, so we're going to be removing that bezel, and I'll be showing you how to remove that and take out the cluster gauge so that we can either replace the parts needed or kind of see what we can fix. So let's dive on in. So to start, we've got these two screws right up here, one here and one here. They're two Phillips heads, so I like to use a little short stubby Phillip like this, just so it's easier to get in. You don't have to, if you don't have one, I mean, it's no big deal. But you're gonna go ahead and take both screws out. One of them's already missing, so half my work's already done. Once you get that taken out, there's one more screw that's hidden, and it's back here behind this hazard button. You can see it's kind of a pain to get. I kind of broke that plastic. But get you a screwdriver, probably a little thinner than this, and you're gonna go ahead, I'm gonna pry up in there. Let's see if I can get this with the camera. But I don't know if you can see that or not, but I had to put the camera down. Maybe. There we go. You gotta pry up on both sides. Take this harness off. And you can see, can't really see, but right in here. Focus in there. There we go. There's that screw right there. That's a pain. So you're gonna get your longer screwdriver out. I'm gonna go ahead and take out this screw right here. Now this one, get your finger in there once your screw is out and kind of pinch it. Grab it underneath like so, just so you don't drop it into your dash and it disappears forever. Now here's the tricky part, because when you pull this out, these plastics are kind of old and fragile, but you're gonna get you a little pry bar, little screwdriver, and you're gonna go through, you're gonna start prying on this plastic just up and out a little bit. There's some tabs on bottom. It kind of folds in like so. I'm gonna go down around. You can see it already broke right here. Go down on top. It's kind of nice that it broke. It makes it a little easier to get out. But and then you get them on this side. Get your handy dandy pry bar out. Just very gently. You don't need a lot of persuasion to get these plastics out. Let's put the camera down again. There we go. You kind of can grab this whole unit. You're gonna slide it forward, and then you got one more connector back here for your clock that you're going to remove. And then, just like that, that little bezel is out. Now, to get our instrument cluster out, we've got 4 screws, 1, 2 here, and then 2 here. You're just gonna unscrew those, and then this unit's gonna pull out like so. So I'm gonna go ahead and get these screws out. Same thing, you want to unscrew them and then just kind of grab them with your fingers so that you don't drop them into the abyss that your dash will become. So then once you drop it, and you might as well just forget it and come to terms with the rattle that it may cause. If you're lucky, it'll fall all the way out, but let's see. One more screw. There we go. Then just like that, this unit, and just kind of folds it, turns in like that, and bam, there we go, there's your unit. If you want to take it fully out, you've got your connectors on the back. You've got, can't bear it from here. You've got 1, 2, 3, 4 connectors in the back that you pop out, and then your instrument cluster can come out. Now, if you want to be able to pull this cluster apart there are 6 tabs. They're kind of a pain. See, there's 3 here on the bottom and 3 on the top. So what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to kind of push on one tab and put some pressure up while you pull the next tab out. Sometimes it's easier to get you a little screwdriver to kind of pry up that you can hold that up, so you can take this screen off, so then you can adjust, or you can pull these individual units out. I'm gonna have to put the phone down. Actually, no, I shouldn't have to take that apart. As you can see right here, when you turn it on, your fuel gauge should move, your temperature gauge should move up to starting, but then when I squeeze the top, you can see that it adjusts. So that's what we came here to fix. So let me put the camera down and kind of get this set up to where I can pull it out and get both hands. Alrighty, so I really couldn't find a good spot to put my camera. You want to remember, so when you're pulling this off, it's easier to put pressure on one tab and then kind of keep your finger there while you're pushing this way, and then move to the next one, pop the top 3 off, and then the whole unit will come off like so. You can see those 3 tabs. But do remember, on your mileage reset, pull that little plastic piece off, otherwise you won't be able to get it past your black plastic. So now that we're looking at our temperature gauge, you can kind of see, let's see, there we go. It's smashed all the way down to the face, whereas for your fuel, you've got a little bit of a gap. So I bought this cluster used because my whole unit wasn't really working when I was rebuilding this car. And I didn't really notice. And you can kind of see right there, it's a little cracked. So we're going to kind of go through and not really recalibrate it, but readjust it. So what we're going to do is we're going to get your handy dandy screwdriver. If you have a smaller one, that works. I don't know what happened to my little one, but let's see, I wonder, you might not even need a screwdriver. Pretty much you're just going to pull this off. Yeah, there we go. Like so. Boop. Pulls off. Pretty easy. Now, instead of just kind of stabbing this wherever which way you feel like it, what I like to do is I like to turn my car on. You know, don't obviously turn it on, and that'll allow everything kind of set to normal. And then I have my new piece here off of my old dash. Let's see if I can get a good view. So you're gonna come in and just very carefully kind of stab this to where, you know, you start your car, you start it up, it's gonna sit at cold. You know, you don't want it to start, it's like, all right, well, it kicks on, it's gonna come like halfway, just so you can get a good reading. I mean, it might be a little off, but, and if you know a better way to do this, by all means, let me know in the comments. So we're going to adjust this. Seems about right. Look underneath, because I don't know if you noticed, but there was that little groove kind of where it would stop. But I'm going to come just a little more. About too much. Yeah, about right there. Then we're just going to carefully just press this on. There we go. Make sure you give a little bit of a gap too. We don't want that rubbing on and not allowing it to freely move. Now, make sure we did that right. It's a little off, but whatever. You have to turn your ignition off. Let that kind of reset. And then just turn the key on. Bam. So, there we go. Now, we're just gonna go ahead and just piece everything back together. So, get your plastic on. You're gonna go just in reverse. Luckily, putting the plastic on is super easy. If you want to take this whole unit out and recalibrate it, you can. I just find it a little easier to leave it in, just so you can turn the car on and off. You can get that electric going to it. So, there we go. Kind of got to finagle this on here. Get your stem. Sorry, the camera's gonna be a little chingered for a second. There we go. You're just gonna fit that on there. Click, click, click. Then you're just gonna kind of feed this back in where it belongs. Perfect. Then you just go in reverse order. Take all your screws, put them back on, and then when you're putting your dash in, just be gentle with it so you don't crack it more than what it is. So let me go ahead and just get this stabbed back in. Sometimes it might just be easier to take the screws and just put them in by hand. Now, then just one more check, just make sure everything's working good, because I would hate to get this all together and then I would hate to get this all together and then decide or realize it doesn't work. So just one more time, turn it on. Sweet. That works. Okay, so we got all 4 of our screws on and tight. Make sure they're not super tight. You don't want to crack your plastic, but just snug. Then get your plastic on. Honestly, I should just leave this off and glue it, but whatever. Come back here. Get your connector on for your clock. Just kind of fit this up in here. Reach around. Don't forget to put your connector through for your hazards. You don't want to trap that in. Now this, this is pretty easy to get back in. You're just kind of gonna come around. You see there's a tab right up there up top, so it's easier to kind of get this top in first. And obviously with it being busted, just kind of a little easier to work with. And just go ahead, push everything in until it clicks. And last but not least, get your final screw. Well, actually not last but not least. Make sure it all pops in, and then you should get everything screwed down tight. There it is. Now remember your screw here. This one's just a little tricky. I like to grab my screw like this. This one takes a little finesse. You're gonna kind of slowly ease that in while removing your finger and having pressure on your screwdriver until you can get it in there. Go ahead and tighten that down. Get your hazard light hooked back up. Make sure that triangle's facing the right way. Bam. Alrighty. Well, there we have it. So that is how you remove your bezel and your instrument cluster on a 95 Honda Civic. Please follow, like, subscribe for more. There'll be a lot of videos on this Civic, as it's got a lot of stuff that I want to get done to it and that needs to get done. So stay tuned. Thanks for watching.